Well, hello. Good morning, everybody. Wow. We've got a little bit of a different look today. Hi, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread, and you're in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat, and Frito is here. I started talking, and it's like Pavlov has happened. She wants her goldfish. This is my baby Frito. Hello, love. Y'all send me emails all the time about how goldfish are bad for dogs. Thank you for your kindness. There we go. Blue got them all the time. She lived to be 15, and Harley got them all the time. Steady diet. She lived to be 17. I think they're fine. I think the big thing is the salt, but these dogs, they're fine. They're fine. So thank you to Annette from Smart Needle for giving Frito her own little bag. That keeps Keith out of them. It's great to see all you guys. Hi. So I've got a little bit different setup today because we are going to be finishing the Kimberbell MiniQuilt, and I'm going to be working for the most part, well, part of it, right here on my brother NQ3700D. And I'm going to be doing stitching the blocks together on this machine, and I'm going to be back and forth to the ironing board. Oh no, y'all, did y'all just see that light go off? That's my switch right here. I have a bad, I just dropped my glasses. This is my morning, you guys. I have a bad, what's it called? Power strip. It's been giving me fits, not staying on. Now I got to push it real hard. And after this, when we get done today, please don't go off in the middle of my sewing, right? After today, I'm going to throw it away. So this is a Sapporo gravity fed iron, and it's preferred by folks who make garments because it has a small footprint. It's super hot. It does not have an auto off, which is a dream in our world. And it doesn't have water in the base of the machine. I've got this in my Amazon store. This thing is ugly but effective. Okay. Teresa wants to know, can the Amy Bradley Quilt Diva be cut in Scan and Cut? Parts of it can. Depending on whether you can cut it. I guess if you can cut a 24-inch mat. Yeah. Anyway, so this iron is great. And it's fantastic. I mean, it's 10 years old, right? If it's a day. Pretty sure I got it in 2014 at the Houston Quilt Festival. And it hasn't gone up in price since. But because it doesn't have an auto off, I have it connected into a power strip. And there is also an overhead light plugged into that power strip. Okay. And that's how I know it's on. So if the light's on, the iron's on, and that's how I can shut it off when I leave or overnight or whatever. So anyway, that's a real good thing. If you guys have things in your sewing rooms that are hot and don't turn off, connect them to the same power strip as a light. And then I only use the on and off on the power strip. So my glasses. Okay. But we're going to be doing some ironing because I've got to iron these blocks. Let me show you. We finished yesterday. Or I finished yesterday. Squeeze the day. Look at that. Didn't that come out cute? You get little beads in there. They're supposed to resemble lemon seeds. Isn't that cute? It's adorable. So the instructions told you when you made the little flag to wipe this off there was some water soluble stabilizer on the back of this. I chose not to do that. I just trimmed it really close. It's fine. I don't like to get my embroidery wet. It's a little dark here. Let me turn on these lights. Maybe this will help. No, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to get light coming in from the window in the back and all that. So, okay. Yeah, the blind is usually pulled down. That is my front door, you guys. That's let's see. So anyway, I'm going to put this together so we have a little bit of sewing and binding to do today. I need to make a correction. The other day I said that the NQ1600, the Brother NQ1600 was wireless. One of you let me know it is not, and I went and looked, and you're absolutely right. I got it confused with the 1700. The NQ1600 has been discontinued. So if you're thinking about getting one, if you find one somewhere, just know it is not wireless. That's important in my world. So, all right. You'll get to your mini quilt someday, Peggy. Sure you will. Well, yeah, in the instructions, let's see. You thought they were mini ice cubes. I would have thought that too, but in the instructions, it called them lemon seed beads. I said, all right, sounds good to me. When you're doing this and it tells you to trim the vinyl over here around the bottom and up the side and not trim the top. And that's because you have to pour in the beads, and then it stitches the final across the top here, and then you can trim it up on the top. But this was pretty cute. It's got glitter vinyl in it. See the segments in the lemons. Very cute on those. Very cute. Very easy to stitch out. And one of you, and you can make this in a 5x7 hoop. You just have to do the split hooping difference. There's instructions for split hooping for 5x7s. That's simpler than it sounds when you try to do it. And one of you had made a comment about how you had taken, because I was talking about Applique Getaway. I'm going to be going to Applique Getaway in Dallas. I'll be at the Westin DFW, which is right there at the airport, DFW airport, the end of June. And I've got a link below if you want to register. I appreciate it. If you do that, helps me out quite a bit. But Lisa Shaw is going to be there, and she's an Embrilliance educator. And Embrilliance is embroidery software if you're a quilter and you're like, what? So it's a great piece of embroidery software, and she's going to be there. And one of you left a comment and said you had taken her Craftsy class years ago, and now you do split hoopings all the time. Not the same way Kimberbell does. Kimberbell has you sew half, and they give you a couple of little marks that you use thumbtacks, and then you put it back into the second hooping, matching marks on the stabilizer with the thumbtacks. That works great. Lisa's way she shows is to go into a Brilliant software and split hoop that way. That class is on Craftsy. And I said, I used to be a huge collector of Craftsy classes. So I went this morning and looked, and I have that class. So I was watching that this morning, and I'm going to check it out again. And I think they charge like $40 for those classes. So you might take a look at it if you don't have it already. But the last section is, I don't know which one. She said near the end of the lesson. The lesson's like an hour and a half. It gets into Embrilliance. So I'm going to go over that again. I've seen a video of it on YouTube, but I don't know. So there's embroidery, right? So I want to make sure I catch everything. I'm not missing. Yeah, lemonade in the virtual kitchen. Do we have any pink lemonade? We've got a virtual kitchen in our stitching retreat, because retreats always have a kitchen full of goodies, and everything's fat and calorie free. And hit the thumbs up button on your way in if you wouldn't mind. I'd appreciate that very much. I've got something so cool to show you guys on this backing, this finishing method for this particular quilt. One of our regulars here, Star Raymond. I don't know if she's here this morning or not. Pink, yes, pink lemonade. Love it. So I have shown you guys before how I use a hanging triangle. One of you told me about a video from Laura Koya from So Very Easy on how she makes them. And I've got it here on the back of You're a Good Egg. This is the April one we did. And I've got it back here. And the whole concept of the triangle is that you stitch it in while you're stitching your binding on, okay? And all you have to do is sew the point down, and then you can, here's your hanging sleeve. So you don't have to do a whole line of hand stitches on the back of a quilt. This is brilliant, you guys. This is brilliant, and this is a game changer. And Star Raymond said what she does is she sews the triangle to the back of the backing first, and then sews down the tip with the sewing machine, completely eliminating any hand stitching. And I'm going to try to do that today. I've never done it, and we're going to see how it works. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited about that. You guys know I'm Power Tools with Thread. These iron-on logos are in my shop, you guys, Power Tools with Thread store. Get yourself a little cheap t-shirt from Walmart or Amazon, which is where this came from, for $10, right? Hey, something very cool yesterday. It is brilliant. I know, Vicki. I sat there and I was like, you got Stitch Artist 3 last night? Yay, Deborah. Yay, you're ready for either Happy Halloween to finish up or Merry Christmas, right? Yesterday we were talking about the two new kits that are out from Lori Holt, the two new patterns that are out from Lori Holt, right? We were talking about the Quilted Scarecrow kit. I got this at the Fat Quarter Shop. I have a link to it below as well. So this one is all quilted piecing. There's no applique in here at all. I know. It's a fabulous idea. Yeah, Star, maybe you can talk me through it. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Let me get here. And there she is right there. It works great. So we're going to give it a try. I'm excited to do that. Okay. All right. Oh, is that right? This is good. Look at this. If you have any association with the military service, the military library system has Craftsy for free. How about that? I was a member of that, and it expires. You have to go back and re-register, but thank you. That's a great idea. I appreciate that. You just saved me a ton of money if they put any more quilting or embroidery classes on there. Okay, so if you are going to be making How to Build a Scarecrow, which is the other kit, and you have to use Lori Holt's Simple Shapes. Now, I had shown y'all yesterday, and there's a link to it below, how to get to the sewing guide. And I always recommend going to the sewing guide at rileyblake.com, because they're going to be the first ones, since they published it. They are the source publisher for the sewing guide. If there's going to be any corrections to it, you're going to get them there first. All right. So there was a correction to it as of May 24th. And it happened to be about cutting the top of the pants for the Scarecrow. Now, Fat Quarter Shop sent out an email yesterday. If you've ordered the kit, you don't have it yet. It says, good day, or if you have, it's fine. Okay. Thank you for choosing Fat Quarter Shop. We're reaching out to our customers who purchased the How to Build a Scarecrow quilt kit featuring Autumn by Lori Holt. We were made aware of a discrepancy in the cutting guide. Riley Blake Designs has issued the following correction, and you can find that here. And there's a link there, and it takes you again to their site, so you can get that. Okay. While the fabric included in the kit is correct, when using the updated cutting guide, since you purchased this kit from us, to ensure that you have ample fabric, we will be sending an additional piece of autumn denim stripe. How about that? Yardage. That will be going out to the address on the original order for the kit as soon as possible. Please let us know if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day. Customer service team, Fat Quarter Shop. Thank you, Fat Quarter Shop. I love you guys. That's why I shop with y'all all the time. This is great. So if you've got the kit or it's on the way, you're also going to get an extra little package of fabric. So that's cool. I should get my kit today. My lighting here is bad, you guys, big time. My light's up here. My cord's not long enough. I guess it is. I want to show you what I got done yesterday. Yeah, Fat Quarter Shop is great. I love them. Okay. Where do I purchase my labels? Yeah, the Dutch Label Shop. Betty Boop had that right. So yesterday was very, very productive for me. I'm going to turn my camera around and show you guys. I had 2 chickens to finish, remember? This is the Chicken's Quilt from Connecting Threads. I'm as wide as I can get, you guys. We're very close to my back wall here. So there's my chicken's quilt. Not only did I finish both of my chickens, I sewed the top 2 rows. Yay! So those are done. And I did another row on Candyland, which is this one right there. Okay, so I did another row on Candyland. So this is awesome. I'm very happy. I should finish up the rows for chickens today. Got a link to it below if you want to get it. And Candyland is a very easy pattern from Villa Rosa Designs. This pattern is great if you've got I made mine out of a fat quarter bundle, but you can make it out of a layer cake. If you've got a layer cake with a lot of focus fabrics, this is great. So you can make good use of it. So, all right, I'm just checking my notes. I'm Becky the Enabler. You finally opened your 325. Oh, good, Cindy. Good for you. You've had it for over a year and never cracked. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Keep going. Don't be intimidated by it. Pounce, take a clean t-shirt and a cotton t-shirt and pounce that mat. Take some of the sticky off. You'll be happy about that. So that's a great thing that you can get, that you're going to do that. I always ask that whenever I go and give talks at guilds. I'll say, who here has a scan and cut? A couple people raise their hand. Who's is still in the box? And the hand is still up. You're not alone. But I'm very proud of you. That's wonderful. Okay. So let's get started. So we're already 20 minutes in and I haven't made a stitch yet. I do have my walking foot on. My chickens are getting into my candy. I know. When I get done here, I got to go next door and feed the neighbor's bearded dragon. Ooh, that thing. Ugh. They have a 12-year-old boy. Anyway, I was like, I got to feed the lizard. I told Keith. Okay, so Star, I'm assuming. So this is how I'm going to do it in my head. All right. What I'm going to, first of all, the hanging triangle. So this finishes, these little mini quilts finish at 12 by 12. So you can use a couple of smaller triangles. Like you could use 2 5 by 5. No, 2. Let's see. Yeah, 2 5 by 5 triangles and fold them up, or 3. You don't want it to dip in the middle, right? Or, so this is 12 across. I cut an 11-inch square. So this is how this works. You just take a square of fabric. This is a great use of scraps. Fabulous use. This actually came off the long arm. It was on a backing or something. I don't know where it was from, but it's a grunge. I don't know if you can see the green in it. So a square of fabric, and you just iron it. You're going to iron it just like you would a folded napkin on the dinner table or at a restaurant or something. Fold it into a triangle and then fold it into a triangle again. Okay. So you've got enclosed edges here. Those are enclosed. And this one is enclosed. So these raw edges up here, these go in the seam for where the binding is. Okay. Let's see here. Take Frida to help. I might not have to feed it tomorrow. That's not very neighborly. Now, the way I want to do this is to not, I don't want to cut the fabric to the exact size yet. I don't like doing that. Since I'm just going to stitch in the ditch to get it together. Okay. All right. So all I'm going to do, they give you this big 14-inch square, and it's got the selvage edge. So I'm going to put that at the bottom. I'm going to cut that off. Okay. So I'm going to take the other end. There's the selvage edge. There's the other end. And it's got a fold in it, so I know where center is. And I'm going to center my triangle on that fold. And then I'm going to center the quilt on that, right? I don't need math. I don't have to make it hard. So I'm just, my pins. See, I'm all out of sorts here, you guys. Let me get my pins. Okay. I got cords. Oh, mercy. I got cords. Okay. I do have bad lighting here. I got to fix this. Bear with me. I also need to grab a scrap of batting. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in 10 seconds. Just hold on a second. Let's see, Mr. Light, if we can change anything here. I guess that'll be fine. And then the batting scrap. No, that's too small. Let's see. Let's see here. Here we go. All righty. We're almost there. Hold on. Batting, batting, batting. I totally planned for this, of course. Let's see. Sorry about that, y'all. I thought I had it all together and I don't. I apologize. So if you're just now starting out with your, that lighting's much better. If you're just now starting out with your scan and cut, just cut some of the shapes that are inside of it already. Just give that a try. Throw a piece of fabric on there with some heat and bond on it and destroy your mat. That's a rite of passage. Okay. Scrape that up. Remember, iron it so it's very glassy on the back. And you might start fabric side down and mirror the image if you're doing something that requires a right and wrong side. Fabric side down, paper on, all right? Before you get froggy and go heat and bond side down, fabric up. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Marlene, I don't understand. What am I using to put my thread on? So I don't understand your question. A little math never hurts. Jeannie, my head, it always hurts. It always hurts. I know. It kills me. I love throwing the kids at the drive-through window off when I give them the right dollar amount. Like say my order is $8.50 and I give them $20.50 and they just stand there and look at me. That's always fun. Okay. Excuse me. I need my coffee. So first things first, I'm going to sew my triangle on. Now, with it being 12 inches and this is an 11-inch square, so this folds, this folds to 11. That gives me a half an inch at the corners, which is perfect, okay? You're not going to have anything all bunched up in the corners on your miters. So, yeah, if you have a scan and cut, you guys challenge yourself today to plug it in. Turn it on and just stare at it for a minute. Poke around on it, hit the buttons. You can always go home, open up the little drawers and see what's in there for your accessories and all that before you get started on anything. Okay, so I'm folding this in half and I'm just going to place it right here on the edge of the fabric in the center and fold it over and pin it. And then I'm going to stitch it on with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Or thereabouts. Maybe a little less. Yeah, maybe a little less. So I'm going to see if I miss anything. Oh, good. So I'm going to see you then, Carol. Oh, wait a minute. Diane, you're going to be at Applique Getaway again? That'll be good. I'd like to. That'll be fun. We have droops. Droops. You have Scan and Cut Envy? You can get the SDX 85. That's the least expensive one. And you can do Snapplique with the SDX 85. All right. I'm just going to stitch this on. I have, again, this is the Brother NQ 3700D. I have my walking foot on. And I'm just going to do a scant 1/4 inch. I hate that term, but I'm not sewing a full 1/4 inch. Put my glasses here so I can see what I'm doing. And now. Because this is going to be the top of the back of the quilt. This is a new way of going about it. And I think I'm going to like it because there's no hand stitching. I know this foot is loud, and I was going to put the Move It foot on the Luminaire, and that was too much like work, so I decided against it. The Move It foot's very quiet. All right. So there's that. And now I'm just going to stitch across the tip. I love this. I love this. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. So here's the tip of the triangle right there. And I'm just going to stitch across it. I wonder if I can go backwards with this. Yeah. Star, send me your address. I'm going to pay you. That's fabulous. I love it. That's great. Okay. That is fantastic. Love, love. Love, love, love. What a great thing. So now I have my quilt backing with my hanging triangles sleeve already attached. I love that. I don't have any space to work right here. So I'm going to turn around and do it here so you guys can watch what I'm doing. See my mess. So here's my binding, my backing, my mouse, my blocks. I'm not ready yet. I need to sew my blocks together and get them pressed. So now that I have the backing ready, am I going to be able to stitch in the ditch now? Ooh, Lynn. Didn't think about that. The answer would be no. But this is a small quilt. I didn't even think about that being one of the drawbacks. This is a small quilt. It's not that big of a deal. I probably can stitch in the ditch in part of it, you know, parts or pieces, because nobody's looking at the back, right? They shouldn't be. Yeah, it looks like I can't quilt it once I put the triangle on. I don't know that I would do that on larger quilts. That's a good point. See, that works. Okay. All right, so I'm going to sew these together, and they go blue. I'm looking at the PDF. They go blueberries, strawberries, peaches, 1/4 inch seams. Okay. Well, right. Just don't tack it down until, look at that, until after quilting. Come back on, come back on. Don't tack it down until after quilting, which is what I normally do. I do a little hand stitch after quilting. That's normal. Turn my machine back on. I got to get rid of that thing, you guys. So I'm just going to do a little 1/4 seam here. Now, when you're embroidering, when you're piecing embroidered blocks, you've got at least 6 layers of stuff going on here. So pins are your friend. Okay. And I just pin horizontally, top and bottom. Don't try it without pinning. You may not be happy about that because the shifting is crazy on these blocks. And you'll figure that out if you are doing Happy Halloween with us. Let's see. Where's my 1/4 inch? Where is my 1/4 inch? I've got that walking foot on. So I'm gonna mark my 1/4 inch. Because I don't trust it. I got a 1/4 inch, little 1/4 inch ruler here. And easy stuff. If you, oh, interesting. Yeah. Somebody asked the question on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. If you'd like to join, please do. You need to have a profile picture. And somebody wrote me yesterday and said they didn't want to put their face on Facebook because of all the AI. I totally get that. You can use a picture of a pet or a project. That's fine. Okay. So, all right. So I've got my 1/4 inch line here marked. She had asked about using the trimmer by George if you're doing the background quilting by Kimberbell. Don't stitch down the fabric tack down basting stitch. Okay. So you do the batting placement, set your batting down. It'll do the batting tack down. Don't trim that away. And then you put your fabric on there. It'll give you the fabric placement, which is right on top. And then you put your fabric on there and it's going to give you a fabric tack down. Don't stitch that fabric tack down. Okay. Then finish all of your background quilting you need to do. You can tape the fabric if you want. Finish all your background quilting. Then when you take it off, fold that fabric up and that basting, that tack down for the batting, that's where you align the trimmer by George. So you fold the pretty fabric over, align your ruler on that, and use that to trim both your stabilizer and your batting at the same time. That's how you do that. You just got to kind of think through it a minute. Let's see here. I am going to back stitch on this. I don't normally, but don't stitch over your pins. You know what I just thought of? Yes, I can stitch in the ditch with this already on. I just can't stitch on that top row. I can stitch through that triangle. What does that matter? Just right at the top, that top inch or half inch or however big your holder is, you just don't close that off. But you can stitch right through that triangle point, right? Why not? That looks amazing. Okay, that looks really good. You're going to want to press these open. And when you press your seams open, do them with your fingers first. Yeah, that would work. Sandra's like, yep, that'll work. So press your seams open first with your fingers. And then I will be using a seam roll, and you might need to use a press cloth. Okay. If your stabilizer will melt with your iron, you might need to use a press cloth, some steam, and then I'm going to hit it with a clapper. So I'm going to really go at this. These are prettiest when your seams are pressed super flat from the back. See, I just got to let my brain chew on it for a minute. Y'all, if there's a way not to hand stitch, I'm going to come up with it, believe me. That is my role in life. All right, and let me mark my 1/4 inch on this one. Point you down here so you can see what I'm doing. These turned out so cute. I like this one a lot. I saw the ones for July through December, and I almost bought them. Almost. I mean, you're thinking, why, if you don't have, you know, if you've got 6 months worth, you might as well get 6 months more worth. I'm thinking about it. I have a lot to do, though, in the fall. I have a lot to do. Okay. Now for the peaches. They go here. And a big old jump stitch there. That did not cut. And that doesn't matter. On the back, if you guys ever get the urge to trim back here, anything like, there's a big jump stitch. That wouldn't matter if I cut that. If you ever get the urge to trim anything back here, you can trim your tails. Don't trim your knots, okay? You need to leave like 1/8 of an inch on those tails, but don't trim the knots. Okay, and one more in the center. You cannot overpin these things. Come on, there we go. Here we go. If you guys are looking for a great little travel machine, this is it. This is Gypsy, my travel machine. Max 6x10 hoop, weighs 18 pounds. They also make one that is not Disney, and it's considerably cheaper than this one. So you might consider that. Yeah, this is a great place. Get the rest of the year. Oh, Avi, I know. Okay, so let me show you how I'm going to be doing my ironing. I'm going to roll you up a little bit and give you some height here. Oh, let's see what I'm doing. Okay, that'll work. And then zoom you in a little bit. There. Now you can see what I'm... Ignore that scorched. I've got new fabric for this. Y'all, I should have known better. Always get a dark fabric for your ironing surface. I have more I ordered. It's from Lori Holt. Look at that. Her little pin cushions. So this is going to be my next cover on this thing. As soon as it's beyond help anymore. Let me get my press cloth. Where is that? Press cloth, where are you? You're in here, I know it. There it is. All right. So this is a seam roll. You can get these from Gray Rooster. I've got a link below, and he is wonderful. He used to be at the Houston Quilt Show. Now he takes care of his wife. So he works out of his house. And so I'm just going to press this on this thing. Give it a shot of steam. Okay. Uh-oh. Press that. I mashed that the wrong direction. Okay. I'm going to hit it with this clapper. I've got the long ones and I've got the short ones, and they both have their purpose. That is so pretty. That looks so good. Let me show you the difference, you guys. So see how nice and flat this seam is right here? And see how there's a round at the bottom of the green? That's the difference between the two. You always want to press your seams flat. And if you don't have a clapper, you can abscond a grandchild's block, a wooden block, because they are untreated wood for the little ones. So if you've got one of those, that's handy. Give it a shot of steam so it will do my bidding. There. Now we don't have the round anymore. Looks much better. Okay. Yeah. So now to put it all together, you're going to be up there a little bit for a second while I come back and stitch this other one. And I need to do my 1/4 inch seam. Oh, Riley Blake is releasing a machine embroidery USB for Lori Holt's hometown. Nice. Yeah. See, I talked to Riley Blake at Market last year, and I told them about my process that I do with Snapplique, about how people can convert these simple shapes to machine embroidery. And they were like, what? What are you talking about? And I told them about it. So that's probably what they've done, is they've been working on conversion of their simple shapes. And that's probably a test for hometown, because hometown's pretty easy one since it's all pretty much squares. Okay. And this goes on what side? It goes on this side. So I need to mark this edge. You got to back up, Gypsy. Back it up, girl. Yeah, it's a whole new thing. And they had they're looking for ways to just make life better for us, right? So that is something you certainly can do, because they realize when you're doing Lori's method, you sometimes end up hand stitching, 4 to 6 layers of fabric when you've got layered pieces. That's a lot. So that's no fun. My hands would not tolerate that at all. There's just no way. All right. Let me put these guys together. Okay. I'm going to do it from this side. Okay. When you are pinning these and you've got seams in the middle, you want to make sure to pin the one that could get pushed the opposite direction by the sewing foot. So the one going down, as you're coming down, is no big deal. The one that's pointed up. And what you do with these, whenever you're doing these, like, again, you're putting all these blocks together, okay? Pin one far end and the other far end, and then make it work in the middle. And you'll be surprised. Hush. You'll be surprised how you might have gaps or something, but it'll work. So I am pinning the one that's up, going through a lot of layers there, and this one that's up. And when you mark your seam allowances, you always get such a pretty finish. All right. See how those up pieces are pinned? Okay. And that's to prevent those from flipping backwards and causing bulk. We don't like bulk. Oh, I want to thank you guys for all the emails I got yesterday about Keith's upcoming knee replacement surgery. Oh, no. See? Stay on. I'm getting rid of this thing. I hate it. My machine went off. I just got to make it through. We're switching over to the other machine, and that's plugged in on a different plug. than this one. Okay. We're going to switch in a minute. I got so many nice emails with suggestions and work, things that'll help him feel better and manage it better. We still don't know when it's going to be. He goes to the doctor on the 12th to get scheduled. All right. Ta-da. Ta-da! I was looking at it in the camera. I'm like, did I sew it on upside down? Ah! Let's see. Okay. Yeah, again, see, if you don't mash your seams, see the bump right there? We don't want that. You get a rounded effect. I did that on the Easter one with the good egg. I was not pleased. Every time I looked at it, it annoyed me. You ever do that? Let me lift you guys up. Whoop, sorry. Bring you in. Again, this is a Sapporo 527 gravity fed iron. Ugly but effective. This is an IV pole, and it's got a bottle of water up under here. And there's a gallon jug of water, distilled water, hanging underneath my flamingo there. And then I just covered the pole because it looked ugly. So, but this is the best iron. I learned about this iron from a garment seamstress, a blog I follow, Ladybird. She has, back when I was sewing garments, and she has this. And I was like, what is that? And then I saw it at the quilt festival. I said, okay, I got to have one. And I love it because it has a condenser here on the side. See that condenser? That's hot. And that's what puts the steam when you press the button. Otherwise, there's no water in this. So it never spits brown junk on your fabric. Ever. And it doesn't leak. Only when you run over the water hose with the iron does it leak. Whoops, I was talking. I wasn't paying attention. Hold on. One more time. Ask me how many times I've done that. You get real smart about turning off the water at the valve on the jug quickly when you do that. But this is just 3/8 inch hose. There's a melted spot right there. I tried. Oh, that's beautiful. That looks good. All right. So while we're here, this turned out. Love that crease. Isn't that crease nice and sharp? Looks pretty. Okay. So while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and put together my little quilt sandwich. So backing down like this, right? I'm going to put my little edge of my ruler on the center point up here because my little center mark is going to disappear when I put my batting on it. Right there. Okay. And then I need to put the center of this right on that, right there. This is how I'm going to do this. Okay. Now I need to pin it. First, before I pin it, pinning is kind of a pain on these. So one thing you can do is use sew tights to hold it in place while you're pinning it. That's an easy way to do it. And sew tights HD go through the bulk. I just need 4 of them to hold it where I want it. I used sew tights yesterday to stitch on this block, and that worked fine. They were well out of the sewing field. If you want to get sew tights, I've got a link below, and they're 15% off. I've got a coupon code for 15% off. Oh, I'm going to be doing a sew tights live with them. It's June 5th, I think. I'll let you guys know. Okay, now that it's held together with the magnets, I can go ahead and pin wherever I need to, and it's not going to shift. Because I'm going to sew this, stitch in the ditch and around the edges with the walking foot. We're going to get a nice, pretty, flat little quilt. One block, every block gets pinned. Nobody gets left out. All right, peaches. Very good. Okay, that looks great. So we're all wedged together here. I've got my quilt sandwich ready. Okay, I'm going to leave my sew tights on for now, and I'll take them off as I get close to them. Let me move this down. So like I said, I'm not going to stitch in the top inch. Okay, I'm not going to stitch in like the top inch. I'm going to move it down to about here and begin stitching in the ditch. And that should work. I'm going to go to a stitch length, I think of like 3.5. See if that works. As soon as I get done stitching in the ditch, we'll switch over to the other machine. And I'm going to use the 1/4-inch ditch foot or that industrial foot to put the binding on. Great. Just an extra set of fingers. I love it. One more here. Got that triangle under there. I can feel it. There we go. But since I already sewed down the tip of the triangle, it's not bunching up underneath, I don't think. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, that's going to work perfect. So here's what it looks like on the back. So you can see I sewed that triangle on and I've got my ditch stitches, okay? But it's fine because I've got that top inch not stitched. And that's going to work just great. Love it. Love it. Star, you are brilliant. You're a genius. And I love all the smart minds in here that help me think about that. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to remove my pins so I don't bleed on myself or my quilt. And I am going to leave the sew tights in place while I sew the binding on. Oh, let's see. Should I put the binding on and then trim? Or should I trim? No, I'm going to trim and then put the binding on. Okay. All right. Back up here. Put away my stuff. Can't stand it when it's a mess. And I have my handy dandy June Taylor cutting press. I'm going to freehand this. Wish me luck. That'll work. Good enough for government work, you guys. As an old GI, I can say that, right? So today is the other 2 rows of the chickens. And then I'm going to do some more sashing in Happy Halloween. I need to get that video edited. I need to get closer to being finished, and then that'll be the final video. All right. That looks amazing. And here. There. That looks great. Okay. That looks good. And here's the back. All right. So now I'm going to put my binding on. So I'm going to move you guys around a little bit. We're going to shift here. We're going to trade places. Sorry, guys, I can't stand it. It's 8 o'clock already. Can you believe it? Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around. And I'm going to get my coffee. Time flies when we're having fun, doesn't it, guys? Sorry, didn't mean to walk in front of you. You see my cow there? That's Oreo. Let me bring you down a little bit. Right about there is good. And we don't need to be on top of each other. Okay, good. There we go. Yeah, you guys, when you just take a couple of extra little steps to be sure to press your seams flat on your blocks and use a walking foot. You're not going to get the bunching, okay? You can stay with me. Sure, Teresa, I'm not going to let you go. It's all right. She's all, let us stay with you. Yeah, sure, that's fine. No problem. Why don't you subscribe while you're here? It's free, right? That's neat. Y'all, my subscriber count has dropped crazy. The amount of subscribers, not that the number has gone down, the amount of new subscribers I get each month. And I've been talking to Keith about it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. But then I thought, okay, quilting is a small niche, right? Machine embroidery is an even smaller niche. And this is not COVID anymore. And I get so, I mean, you guys, there's almost 700 people in here right now. And that's a lot of folks for a live, as lives go, right? Unless you're one of the big YouTubers. So I probably keep it more on point, not chattering so much. I'm going to give that a try. So did you see yesterday, Pat Sloan is going, no, I didn't shut off the power strip yet. Pat Sloan is going to, she's going to go to no video Fridays, video free Fridays. So she's going to be on 4 days a week now instead of 5. And a lot of her folks do what Pat Sloan is doing. Anyone who posts to the Facebook page mentions your YouTube channel when posting pictures. Oh, that's a good idea, because there are people, like there's 32,000 people in the Facebook group. You would not believe how many times I see the comment, "Who's Becky?" Did you not answer the questions when you joined? My goodness. Because my YouTube channel is mentioned in the questions. That's a good idea. And then another thing is, you don't have pre-approval on my channel. Okay, so this is up almost to a 3. I'm going to back it down to 2.5. Standard 2.5 inch strip of binding, you guys. I'm not going to stop chattering. I know you guys are working in your room. You're working on projects. I'm going to leave about a 10-inch tail. I'm going to finish this with a diagonal seam finish. So just wanted you to kind of keep up. I'll show you. I do this every month on this, but I'll show you my binding technique. It works perfect. Do I have a video for connecting my brother machine to the ScanNCut? Yes, ma'am, Lana Dean. Look at unboxing on my channel. Look, unboxing SDX 325, and I show how to do that. Okay. This is so tight, this here. I'm going to move it to over here. I don't want it near the corner. Okay. So I have a white poly thread in here and a fairly new bobbin, so it shouldn't do me wrong. I'm going to start like right about here. I need enough room for my hands when I do the diagonal seam finish. That's something to take into consideration. So I've got a 12-inch side here. I'll probably stop right about there, a couple of, like 1.5 inches, 2 inches down from the point, and I'm starting about 2 inches from the edge. That's to give you enough room for sewing and flipping and all of that at the end. And I have a 45-degree piece of plastic cut. Okay. This is just a template. I got it, the idea from Karen Brown from Just Get It Done Quilts. And so when you get down to the edge, and I'm going to lift it and turn and sew off. I have 1/4 inch left. Okay. And then use this and put the point down on the corner and swing this over, this part here, swing it over so it's level, even with the edge of the quilt. And then I can fold back my binding. It gives me a nice 45. See how flat that is there? That's what you want. Oh, you can't see because my hand's in the way. How straight those two edges are from the quilt to the binding. And give it a finger crease, hold it in place, just pull out this and lay it flat, again with the edge straight with the edge of the quilt, and fold that over on the 90, just like that. Okay, you can pin it if you want. Pull this out, no movement, and I'm holding everything with my fingers, and I start about 3/8 to 1/2 inch down, and I go backwards first. And that works. That's how you get that pretty 1/4 inch, that pretty miter on the front and back. If your miters are bad, your miters on your back are going to be bad too. Okay, we are sewing through scads of layers here. It'll be fine. Now, when you're sewing with this, okay, I learned this trick from Janet Prey from Islander Sewing Systems. Okay, you put it together, thumb under, fingers on top, and roll it towards you, and that's going to prevent the bottom from being pulled through faster than the top. Stitch a little bit, lift it up, relax. Okay, let me get this pin out of here because it's sticking me. All right. Thumb under, fingers on top, roll it, or roll it away from you, not toward you. Roll it away from you toward the machine, toward the needle. That works really good. Let me get this magnet out of the way. Thumb under, fingers on top. Good. Oh, man. What am I missing? You just posted a PES file for a triangle hanging sleeve on Facebook. Oh, nice, Ellen. E.T. Gillen. Thank you. Let me make sure. Yes, you can make this. You can make that on your ScanNCut. You certainly can. Matter of fact, there is probably a shape. Is there something else I can help with? Every time I say ScanNCut. There is probably a shape that has that 45-degree point on it, like an arrow, sort of, in Canvas. And all you got to do is extend the length of it with the little handles and make your own. Very smart. All right. Move that over. Brilliant, brilliant. There's a bunch of smart cookies in this group. Start down a little bit, go backwards first. Okay. Thumb under, fingers on top, roll it. I sew everything like that now, even my quilts. I took a garment sewing class from her on Craftsy, and that's where I learned that. And it has been one of the best sewing tips I have ever received from an instructor. I'd like to meet her someday. We've got some shifting. We're not dealing with no stinking shifting. Okay. Y'all, yesterday, this is the funniest thing. I was putting my chickens together. And I was putting a beak on, and Keith was in here, and I was singing, "The beak goes on, la da 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 dee." The beak goes on. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. I was like, "That's hilarious," and he said, "That's stupid." Oh. Pin this. These are right, they're perfect, and I don't want a chance missing it, you know, because it can happen. Anything can happen. Somebody said they were thinking about getting this PQ 1600 and was it worth it? I said, this is worth every penny. My bindings are so good on this machine. So good. Oh my gosh. My binding quality improved exponentially when I got this machine. I don't know why. It just did. But it's very, very good at what it does. Oops. Hold on. I got ahead of myself. Right tool for the job. That's what my dad used to tell me. Okay, so I'm only going to go down about, I don't know, 2 inches. All right. Now, here we go with the diagonal seam binding finish. I like to use my presser foot as a third little hand here to hold it in place. Yeah, now that song's in your head, you're welcome. Okay. So you just have to decide. What I normally do to figure it out is I take my 4 fingers. Let me make sure everything is right here. Take my 4 fingers and I spread them out from the edge of where I started sewing, and I just spread them out, okay? So right about there, as far as I can go, right about there, I'm going to cut my strip at the end of my fingers. This is my measuring guide, okay? Let me pull this back. So this is my measuring guide, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to make sure that these 2 edges are flush with each other over here on my right side, okay? Those are flush right over here on my right side. Now, I'm going to move this right 1/4 inch, just a little bit. So it was flush, and now I've moved my measuring guide 1/4 inch over. That's important. Then you're going to take your, now, because this is the left side. This is the left one. You're going to take this one and lay it over the top. It does not matter what size binding you use to do this method. So I'm laying this all the way over the top, and now on the left side is where I'm going to cut, even with this measuring guide right here. All right, that's it. I'm done. So this gets tricky too. So you're going to take this one on the left and you're going to lay it out flat, okay? And this one on the right, you're going to open it up with the back side facing towards you. And you're going to turn it away from you 360 degrees, all the way around. You're going to get a big twisty right here. And then you're going to meet up these points, and doing it on the side with the lemonade glass is not recommended because that vinyl doesn't like to bend. So if you've got this block and you haven't done it yet, do it on another side somewhere where there's no vinyl. Okay. So those points are together, and I'm going to get this 90-degree. This is fiddly, y'all. Big time fiddly. But it works well. It's perfect every time. I'm trying to get my 2 edges here even. And sometimes you've got to use more pins than you want at first. Okay. I'm trying to make sure this is going to lay flat on here. Nobody said it was easy. It's harder on smaller quilts. I don't even think about it on this one. I do the regular flat binding finish on these little bitty things. Okay, so this is right? And now I'm going to sew diagonally from left down to right, upper left to lower right. Again, it's fiddly. but it works. And I've got my diagonal seam tape down here from Cluck Cluck Sew, which I would not be without. And I've got the lower point on that red line, which is center. And my edge is even here. And it's fiddly, but it's smooth. Here we go. I'm looking for that lower point. Small quilts are hard. Sometimes you only may want to come down to like just an inch, not two like I did, and give yourself a little more room. Can be done. Can be done. Good enough. Yeah, that'll work. Then you take your pins out, and before you cut, you make sure that you did it right and it's going to fit. Okay? Yeah, I know the overlap is easier, but this one's cute, so I'm going to cut it now. Any of my videos that have the word finish in them probably have this technique. I also have short video. It's years old on how I did this. And it's just me and 2 strips of fabric and a binding, just putting it together. Okay, now I'm going to pin these. I'm going to pin it in the middle first. Pin it here, if I can. I don't want any bubbles. But that 1/4 inch, if you don't do that extra 1/4 inch pushover, you'll get a gap. And if it gaps on the top, that's okay. If you look underneath, it may not have gapped. So there's that. Raise the presser foot and relax that fabric. All right, binding is on. That turned out great. Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm going to go over to my ironing board and I'm going to press open this seam. I'm going to press it over so it knows where I want it to go. Okay, let me move you just a little bit. This is what I was trying to avoid so much by sewing on the other machine. I've got vinyl. Don't iron on that vinyl. I'm going to press those miters flat. Okay, that looks good. So you want something that looks kind of like a little dish. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you so much, Flo. That's very thoughtful. Thank you. I appreciate your super sticker. That's nice. A little binding lesson. Cheap class, right? Thank you. Thank you. I can buy more thread because I need more thread, right? Okay. I am going to clean this up. I've got some strings. I don't like strings. Everything else looks pretty good. Okay. I'm going to switch out to my industrial ditch foot from Ken's Sewing. But first, I'm going to go ahead and do my little binding miters. I always, for some reason, I put the left one down first. It just seems to work better. And then I come in from here and pin right there. That's how I pin. So it's going to be right. Okay. The left one first. Fold over. Right in that corner. That makes sure everything stays where I want it. These smaller quilts, this is a better way to do this. Just make sure you cover your stitching line and put all your strings in. See now, because here's the edge of that hanging sleeve, okay? And I've got plenty of room for my little miter without that triangle in the way. There. That's why I make my square for the triangle. I cut the square 1 inch on these mini quilts. I cut it 1 inch shorter than the diameter. So if this quilt is 12 by 12, so I cut an 11-inch square. Okay. This is good. We're getting all this done so fast. You guys don't forget the Brilliance coupon is still good until I've got a link to it below with a coupon code. Still good, 10% off. If you're thinking about Stitch Artist, now is the time. All right, that's done. And I need this screwdriver. I got this out of my dad's tool chest. This is one of his old, remember these old yellow handled? Okay. I love this. I have a pair of I have a special hook that was my dad's too. It was it's actually a dental tool. He actually he went to dental lab school when he retired from the Air Force. And he had a little tool, and when he passed away, I kept it. I didn't need all the tools, but I kept that one. It has a hook, and I use it for pulling the threads toward me on my cover stitch. Very nice. I love it. So I got my dad with me. He passed back in 2014. Okay. I'm ready now to ditch this thing. When you start and stop, if you're new, start on the same fabric that is your thread color. So my thread is white. I'm going to start on a white piece. If at all possible, try that. Because if I started in the blue, functionally it's going to work fine, but you might see it, and we don't want to see it. Okay, bye Betsy. Have a great day. See you in the morning. You guys enjoy yourself. When I did the On Wander Lane piece with the little bee, did I use my snap-applique method? Yes, I absolutely did. Okay, Lynn, yes, I absolutely did. All of my On Wander Lane quilts, all of these have been done in snap-applique, sure enough. And I've got a video on it, as a matter of fact, when I did it. I think it was a Stitchuation room a couple of days. I need to get that worked out. I got to figure out how to isolate that. I think that's my problem with my subscribers. You never know what you're going to get. All righty, I'm going to just start stitching. Into the corner. Where is my stiletto? I'm going to let it relax a little bit here. All right, let's keep going. Right over the top of that triangle. I don't have this pinned down in the middle. I think I want to. Home stretch, you guys. This is it. Here's where I started, my little piece of thread there. Go over it about 4 or 5 stitches. Back up. Done. And straightens. Yep. Which is why you start on the white. Just in case. Awesome. All right, you guys, this worked out great. Absolutely love it. Worked out great. Sorry I wasn't talking to you. I was focused. Focus, focus. We're finished. How about that? I love it. So this turned out super cute. And we already have our hanging sleeve, right? I left a gap up here. I really didn't need to because the wire only goes to about right here on this one. So it can be whatever you would like it to be. Okay. And look at my miters. Those turned out beautiful. Those will work, you guys. I love this binding finish method. I use it on everything. So let's switch it out. Yes, I will do the July on Wander Lane in June. We're always a month ahead. Oh, actually, this does go like all the way through. There, see? So goodbye, rabbits. And I've got this here. So I can just tuck those wires right into here. Okay. There's one side. And there's the other. Oh, you guys. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. Look at that. Yay. Well worth it. Well worth it. Lots of time. But I think this is my favorite one. I love the little jar. I love the lemonade, all of that. I think this is my favorite one. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you for that, Kai. I appreciate that. That's very thoughtful of you. It is, darling. It's going to be up all summer long. I know. I should get the other 6 months, and we can do those together too. But let me show you the back. See how the hanging sleeve worked? Absolutely perfect. Worked absolutely perfect. Thank you, Star. That's a brilliant method to stitch that down. Nobody's looking at the back. right? We're not the quilt police. We're satisfied with this because it looks wonderful. All right, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend it with me. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And we'll talk to you soon. Show up tomorrow morning. We're going to do a little giveaway along with it, okay? Share that with your friends or don't tell them so you have a better chance of winning. All right, y'all. We will talk to you soon. You guys go sew something. Bye.